first, I'd like to apologize to Honorable Kafila Obara. I am not here to bring shame to our country. I'm here to seek help for the women of Nigeria. Again, my name is Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. 5 days ago, on the 6th of March 2025, I was suspended. As a senator, I was suspended illegally because I submitted a petition of sexual harassment against the President of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Akpabio. I thought that by submitting the petition, he would recuse himself, and both of us would submit ourselves to the Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petition for a fair and transparent investigation. But unfortunately, I was silenced and I was suspended. I was suspended for 6 months, amongst many other stringent conditions, such as taking away my security, taking away all the officials, vehicles, and other items that were handed over to me as a senator. My salaries would be cut off. I must not appear anywhere near the National Assembly. And for 6 months, I'm not to introduce myself or present myself as a senator locally in Nigeria or internationally. That means I'm here illegally, but I had no other place to go but to come here and speak to you women, because this is a bigger picture. This is a bigger picture. It depicts the crisis of women political representation. My suspension is not just about me. It's about the systemic exclusion of women from political leadership in Nigeria. Women make up 3.6% of political offices, and in the Senate, it's just 2.8. We have 109 men, and only 4 of us are women. So right now, it's 108 with only 3 women. This is a clear case of political victimization, punishment for speaking out against impunity, corruption, and gender-based violence. The United Nations Declaration 48/104 declares sexual harassment as a form of gender violence. The Senate's actions are an assault on democracy. I was elected by my constituents to represent them. Yet a few powerful men have unilaterally decided to silence their voices by suspending me for 6 months. My call for an open and transparent investigation into harassment allegations have been met with hostility instead of accountability. If a female senator can be treated this way in the full view of the world, imagine what ordinary Nigerian women would go through every day in workplaces, in universities, and other aspects of our society. A culture of harassment and silencing must end. And this is not just a Nigerian issue, it's a global one. Women in politics, media, and businesses face threats, intimidation, and violence for simply demanding fairness. From sex for grades scandals in universities to harassment in workplaces and political spaces, Nigerian women have constantly been forced into silence. We need stronger legal protections and a zero culture tolerance for gender-based discrimination and intimidation. My call to the international community is such that the world must not stay silent as democracy and women's rights are rolled back in Nigeria. I call on human rights organizations, women movements, and democratic institutions to hold the Nigerian Senate accountable. Nigeria needs global partners to push for women's political inclusion, safety, and protection from political harassment. You may ask, what are my next steps? I will resist the political intimidation. In the past few days, a number of my colleagues, my male colleagues, have reached out to me and said, Natasha, all you need to do is apologize and retract your statements. And I told them I am not going to apologize. I will not apologize for my truth. that I will stand the 6-month suspension, and the very first day I return, I will represent my petition of sexual harassment. And I will continue doing so until there is a fair and transparent investigation. I will fight this injustice and continue to represent my constituents, whether the Senate wants to hear me or not. I will work with women's group, civil society, and legal teams to ensure that this unconstitutional suspension is squashed. This is bigger than me. This is about ensuring that no other woman in politics or public office will ever be silenced again. Thank you so much.
Oh my, oh my. Oh my, oh my. That is the voice of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan at the Inter-Parliamentary Union in New York, United Nations. You don't carry the Matako UNO. Akpabio don't buy market. But that's on a lighter note, though. I mean, I've had so many arguments. You know, but you had the lady. She says this is a political attack, you know, on her. She's being suspended for political reasons. And these are what women in politics go through every day. That the Senate president did not recuse himself from the investigation or from, you know, any process in the National Assembly regarding what she petitioned, regarding her petition, but rather he still sat in his seat. She says that she's been called by some of her colleagues, male colleagues, who have reached out to her to ask her to apologize and retract her statement. She said that women in Nigeria face harassment on a daily basis, and the fight is not for her, but it's for Nigerian women. She says that suspension is political. So this matter has become an international one. Don't forget, this same Inter-Parliamentary Union, if I'm not mistaken, were around when Natasha was about to present her petition. If at that period she presented, they were there. Maybe by coincidence, maybe by plan, maybe they had already planned to be there, you know. And they even had audience with Akpabio, you know, and they promised to work with him to ensure that they have, I hope I got the group, but there's a group that visited him, a parliamentary group, and they're pushing for permanent seats for women in the parliament of Nigeria. So you have the Senate, you have the House of Reps. So all of this has been happening around International Women's Day as well. And fast forward a couple of days later, the woman is at National Assembly at the International, the United Nations. And this is a global issue. It's a global issue. So what do you think? Because I've seen some people say, hey, where are the women's groups? What is Senator Ireti Kingibe? What is she saying about it? Why is she quiet? The other senators, female senators, what are they saying? I've heard a lot. Some have said Akpabio should have stepped aside. I've heard people say Natasha is out to blackmail Akpabio. This is all about blackmail. I've heard people say they don't care what anyone says. Akpabio is guilty. He sexually harassed Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan. I've heard Akpabio say he slept at Dangote petrol plant, cement factory, when he went for Natasha's wedding. A lot. And a lot still needs to be said. As far as you're concerned, is this a witch hunt, like someone said this morning on the news? As far as you're concerned, is Natasha doing the right thing by going all the way to the United Nations to raise her case at a forum that is not about her, but is for women in general? As far as you're concerned, all those who are coming out to protest against Natasha, I saw a story that said 100 groups apologized to Akpabio. 100 groups apologized to Akpabio over Natasha's accusation. 100. Women groups, not just any group, women groups. Is unnecessary. We've seen protests in support of Akpabio outside the National Assembly. What do you think about all that's going on? What do you think about all that's going on? Some have said this matter is not even important. The senators are wasting time on what isn't important. We have important things to argue. Some have said, no, this is important. Some have said Akpabio should resign. Senator Godswill Akpabio should what? Resign. I'm going to leave it now at that and proceed to the phone lines. Where do you stand in all of this? Which of the positions are you taking? Which of the positions? How do you think this matter can be resolved? What should be the way forward? What should be the next steps to be taken? At this point, where we are right now. I don't know if Uju was still Minister of Women Affairs, what she would have been doing by now. But I suspect Uju Kennedy, a barrister, that it would have been really controversial. I miss the lady. Well, she has some sort of cases answering over some alleged embezzlement. I don't know. 020127700993, 020127700993, and we have a female line which is 0201-465-7190, 0201-465-7190. Don't forget, it's 25,000 now up to be won. If you play the one game lottery, all you have to do is head to the website www.oneplay.ng. The number one and the word play.ng. Once the morning crossfire starts, in fact, even from midnight, you can start playing. All you have to do is go to the website www.the1 and the word play.ng, oneplay.ng, and then click on the Nigeria Info logo, the box that has a Nigeria Info logo, and follow the prompts. You have to pay 500 naira to buy one ticket, or you can buy as many as you want, but each ticket costs 500 naira. Your phone number will enter into the draw, and we'll randomly pick one winner who will go home with that 25,000 naira. If you don't want to use the internet, you can just dial star 347 star 880 star 3 hash from your phone. Star 347 star 880 star 3 hash from your phone and send it, and it'll take you through a series of processes, and you can pay to play, and you can play, of course, to win. All right, run the draw before I leave the studio. We have first listener on the line. I think I'll start with the female line. Let's go there. 99.3, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Kofi.
Welcome. What's your name, location, and contribution?
I'm Zoboli calling from Ikorodu.
All right, Mr. Zoboli, welcome.
You started with Akpabio don't buy markets, Mr. Kofi. So I agree with you. Never price what you can buy. If this issue had been handled properly from inception, I think by now this case would have died down naturally. But because God wants to make an example of this case and not count it amongst the statistics, that is why this case is blazing hot. If there's any day I'm ever proud in my life, that's which you have played today. If there's any time I'm ever proud to be a woman, today is that day, Mr. Kofi. And for those who say, let this slide, there are other things we need to tackle. No, if two trees fall on themselves, you remove the one on top before you start looking for the one underneath it. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. And this is not justice for Natasha alone. I am that Natasha. My daughter, my mother, my sister, everybody that has to do with women, with a woman in this world, we are Natashas. Crying out, and you are shushing up the women folk, shushing up and because of your political bias. Because you're trying to protect the red chamber that is not sanctimonious, that has lost its sanctity. Mr. Kofi, I am.
Do you agree? Do you agree? I'm sure you do. That all that's happening is it political, or is it because she's a woman? Because I've seen some comments. That are asking, okay, if it is because of a political party, then it's not because you're a woman.
Mr. Kofi.
Her ordeal.
Okay.
Or is it both? Maybe both.
This has a political undertone. But let me come from the angle that because she's a woman, okay, it also connotes a political undertone. But whichever way it is, the wishy-washy job that the House of Senate has done regarding this issue will make her cry out. How can you tell somebody who is angry, you rub insults, you rub salt on a festering injury and tell her to apologize? Apologize for what?
All right. Before you go, because it's you, I want to seize the moment to also pose this question to you. And I've seen this question in a number of places. In a number of places. Now, what has been asked is the genesis of all of this is the dispute over seating arrangement. That's the dispute over what seating arrangement.
Okay.
If the Senate whip had decided not to raise any matter, or let's just say Akpabio, let me put it, had favored Natasha to sit wherever she wants to sit, will she have raised the allegation? I've seen it a lot of places, and because you're here, I want you to answer if I pick the next call.
So I believe over time she would raise it, because shortly after the interview we had with Uncle Jimmy, we were privileged to speak with her on phone. She would have raised it, but she was looking for the right time. Mr. Akpabio pushed his luck too far, and that was the defiance and the brazenness she retaliated with. She would have raised it from all indications.
Thank you very much.
Because you've not spoken with her. You don't really know who she is or what she's capable of doing. That is
Thank you. I wish I could make you my guest for today, because you have a lot to say.
After that interview that day, Mr. Kofi, we were able to speak with her on phone. And this brashness you see her exude.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was trying to end the other call and I accidentally ended yours.
Okay, Kofi.
Oh, okay, you're there. Hello, good morning. Sorry about that,
Yes,
Mr.
I'm there.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I can't believe it. Go on.
You see, I will encourage this woman to go to wherever. She's going to international court or wherever. She should go there and seek justice. At least there we will not have a compromised judiciary, or whatever she wants to, let her do it. I've not seen that you want to you want to suspend a senator. You now say she should never answer the name senator again for that 6 months. She should not remove her security, remove cars, remove everything. It shows that you are just punishing her for refusing your advances. It's so clear. I've not seen that kind of punishment. Oh, you want her to answer senator again? Are you the one that elected her in the first place? I've not seen that kind of punishment. So there is something behind that. They're just trying to intimidate that woman so that she will not open her mouth and expose.
So you feel that her suspension is because Akpabio is angry that she refused his advances.
Yes.
All right, want to pick more calls, as many calls as possible. 99.3. Good morning.
Good morning, Kofi.
Yeah, this is the female line. What's your name?
Yeah, Joe Gabriel calling from Lekki.
You're calling the female line.
The other lines now, I'll be trying.
It's going through. Please speak. If it doesn't go through, don't call this female line if you're a male. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, welcome.
This is Mrs. Okorie Margaret calling from Ojo.
All right, please go on.
The issue of women is dicing, and the issue of sexual harassment is dicing. She had to prove that beyond all doubt. And we know that women sometimes can cry foul. If, like the other man you said, if she was granted a request, would she have done what she did now? And she quoted some years back. Why is she just crying out? Is it because she's a female that everybody's shouting? What are the rules in the Senate? Every organization has their own rules. If you break the rules of any organization, you will pay for it. So when we talk, what is the law? What are the rules? So let's look at this before we just talk. What has the Senate president done? Where has he gone wrong? Where has she gone? If her own colleagues are calling on her to apologize, then there is something fishing there. That's my own thing. Right. We should not just start taking your country out. I don't think that is the best. What is her aim? That we should look at that. Is it to run down the Senate president? Is it to run down the country?
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Thanks for calling Bastion
Since
HMO.
I signed up with Bastion HMO, I don't worry about hospital bills. I get access to top quality healthcare and still save enough for other things. They even help me pre-book my doctor's appointments. Bastion HMO also gives me access to over 1,700 hospitals and clinics with the freedom to switch whenever. I feel so in control of my finances and health.
Call 0800 Bastion or visit www.bastionhmo.com to purchase a plan that suits your needs. Bastion Health, the HMO that puts you in control.
Mama, are you hungry?
Yes, my pikin. Oh, yeah, go change. Make you come chop.
My children are my life, but I know say they need to eat well to do well. Since I discovered Maggi soya chunks, so add protein to my food, don't they easy?
Now, I know they worry whether them get protein for food, because with Maggi soya chunks, I fit give them protein for food.
Protein every day for my family.
Are you in the Agro-Island food and beverage manufacturing, printing, or packaging industry? Get ready to position your business for success. Meet potential customers and collaborate with global industry leaders at one of Nigeria's biggest international trade shows. Agro-Food and Plasprint Pack Nigeria marks 10 years of connecting businesses and driving growth. Join us at the Landmark Event Center, Victoria Island, Lagos, from March 25th to March 27th, 2025, for an anniversary edition packed with opportunities. Meet with exhibitors from Europe, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, Asia, and Africa to showcase your products, innovations, and machine requirements. You can also sponsor to gain high-level exposure or attend as a visitor to explore new opportunities. Register now at www.agrofood-nigeria.com and www.ppp-nigeria.com or call 0902-222-2226. Be a part of this milestone. See you there.
Ida of trading himself. James, hello.
Susan, I beg. Say you the wine me.
For where? You who no longer depend solely on your salary.
So you people trade and don't carry us along in this office, Abby?
Jerry, now you they talk like this. Who doesn't want an extra stream of income? But I'm still looking for better trading conditions, I beg. Fast execution of my trades and possibly an account where swap no go carry all my profits where I don't know.
Guy, HFM.com.
For me, I wouldn't mind better spreads at all, and it won't be a bad idea to be able to make withdrawals in a flash.
All we want is transparency and great customer service.
Guys, I said HFM.com.
Which one is HFM.com again?
Switch to HFM today to enjoy ultra-fast execution, 1 to 2,000 leverage, tight spreads, swap-free, and more.
Guy, show us the way now.
Wait, are you sure deposits and withdrawals are sharp?
I said HFM.com. Visit www.hfm.com. HFM, online trading at its finest.
Are you thinking of studying abroad? If yes, ALTS Education is presenting you with the opportunity to meet directly with boarding schools from the UK, USA, and Canada. Here in Lagos, this March, 2 days of boarding school fairs. Meet the school representatives on Saturday, 22nd March from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Radisson Blue, Ozumbambadi Way, Victoria Island, and Sunday, 23rd March from 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Radisson, formerly Protea, Isaac John, GRA Ikeja. For more information, visit altsconsulting.com or call 0818-000-0500. Investing in our children and the future of Nigeria through international and global education. ALTS.
Anything I want. Mama, they don't dash me 20,000 naira woof.
My pikin, who they dash 20,000 naira for this kind time?
That they dash everybody will get smart cash account 20,000 naira.
You mean them go dash me 20,000 naira a woof too?
Yes, so mama. Hey. That they dash all old and new smart cash users 20,000 naira a woof.
Oh yeah, tell your yard people make them dial *939# or download Smart Cash app to open their own account. Make them self-enjoy 20k a woof. Every time when you buy airtime or pay bills with Smart Cash, you go chop inside your 20k. Terms and conditions they shall.
I don't see my own a woof.
Smart Cash, powered by Airtel.
We see you, Mr. As my guy don't win. We said don't ginger. No dollar. With the jolly just come welcome offer. BetKing is giving you 100 Naira instant sign-up bonus. That's not all. Within 14 days on the app, you stand a chance to get up to 1 million Naira in rewards and enjoy 50 free casino bets on Aviator. Download BetKing app and register today using the promo code FREEBETS to enjoy your 100 Naira instant bonus and other exciting offers. Terms and conditions apply. Not for persons under 18 years. Play responsibly.
Ramadan, a season to feed the soul and mind. It is the season to share a helping hand in prayer and deeds. A season to share happiness, to put a smile on someone's face, and food on others' table. It's the time to share happiness with Golden Penny. Share happiness and nourish families with a range of Golden Penny food products. Ramadan Mubarak from Golden Penny. Golden Penny, home of good foods. Serving happiness, nourishing families.
Welcome back to your number one talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Yeah, I want to go back to, welcome back to Morning Crossfire, Kofi Bartels here. I want to go back to Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan's speech at the United Nations, at the Interparliamentary Union holding then in the UN in New York, so we can listen to what she to what she said, because she feels it's not just a fight for Natasha. She feels it's a fight for all women. You know, play some voices of other people who are not exactly in support of what she's doing, you know, and then we take your thoughts, okay? I may not play everything, but we'll play just some excerpts.
I come with a heavy heart from Nigeria, but first I'd like to apologize to Honorable Kafila Obara. I am not here to bring shame to our country. I'm here to seek help for the women of Nigeria. Again, my name is Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. 5 days ago, on the 6th of March 2025, I was suspended. As a senator, I was suspended illegally because I submitted a petition of sexual harassment against the President of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Akpabio. I thought that by submitting the petition, he would recuse himself, and both of us will submit ourselves to the Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petition for a fair and transparent investigation. But unfortunately, I was silenced and I was suspended. I was suspended for 6 months, amongst many other stringent conditions, such as taking away my security, taking away all the officials, vehicles, and other items that were handed over to me as a senator. My salaries will be cut off. I must not appear anywhere near the National Assembly. And for 6 months, I'm not to introduce myself or present myself as a senator locally in Nigeria or internationally. That means I'm here illegally, but I have no other place to go but to come here and speak to you women, because this is a bigger picture. This is a bigger picture. It depicts the crisis of women political representation. My suspension is not just about me. It's about the systemic exclusion of women from political leadership in Nigeria. Women make up 3.6% of political offices, and in the Senate, it's just 2.8. We have 109 men, and only 4 of us are women. So right now, it's 108 with only 3 women. This is a clear case of political victimization, punishment for speaking out against impunity, corruption, and gender-based violence. The United Nations Declaration 48/104 declares sexual harassment as a form of gender violence. The Senate's actions are an assault on democracy. I was elected by my constituents to represent them. Yet a few powerful men have unilaterally decided to silence their voices by suspending me for 6 months. My call for an open and transparent investigation into harassment allegations have been met with hostility instead of accountability. If a female senator can be treated this way in the full view of the world, imagine what ordinary Nigerian women will go through every day in workplaces, in universities, and other aspects of our society. A culture of harassment and silencing must end. And this is not just a Nigerian issue.
So, a lot of talking points there. Well, one highlight is that Hercules, she says, in the past days, have been reaching out to her to say she just apologized and retract her statement. Anyway, 0201-277-0993, 0201-277-0993. We have 0201. That's the general line, by the way. 0201-465-7190, 0201-465-7190. Is it even right for anyone to conclude that Natasha is lying or Akpabio sexually harassed Natasha at this point? At this point, is it even right for anyone to conclude that Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan is lying or Godswill Akpabio is guilty? That's you and I now sitting here in Lagos. Now, some have said that if you look at the fact that Natasha, didn't say anything. She didn't say anything, till this matter of her seat came up. And she's now bringing it up. She must be lying. Then they go back to the history of the spats between Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan and Godswill Akpabio. Some have even asked if there are other situations Natasha has faced and she didn't bring it up, and then she's keeping it somewhere in a cupboard. If you wrong her, she'll now bring it out and say, remember that time you did this to me? Oh yeah, I'm taking it up against you. That she's blackmailing Akpabio. Now, they also say there's nothing Akpabio will say. He's guilty. For instance, we had a listener say this morning, for Natasha to go all the way to the United Nations, she must be telling the truth. Some have said, look at the body language of Akpabio. He's lying. Some have said Akpabio has always been this kind of, you go back to look at, some of the things he said during, what's this lady's name again? The Bianca Ojuku's screening. Those kind of things he's been saying, talking like, he could be that kind of person. He must be guilty. And a lot of other things. So where do you guys stand on? But the last caller before we went on the break said it is too early for anyone to tell without a shadow of doubt, with 100% certainty, who is lying, who is guilty, who is telling the truth. Now, I'm going to leave you guys to do the talking on that. Okay? Please call 0201-277-0201-465-7190. Okay. Don't forget, we'll run the one play draw before we leave the program today. So if you've not played, please play www.oneplay.ng, the number one and the word play together.ng. Click on the box that has the Nigerian Info logo, or you dial star 347 star 880 star 3 hash from your phone and follow the prompts. 25,000 naira could be yours. Each ticket costs 500 naira. 99.3, good morning. Start with the female line. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, you're calling the female line. What's your name?
My name is Emeka, calling from Ogun State.
All right. And we'll say goodbye to you. Please don't call the female line. Leave the women to have their line. For weeks, if not months, they could not call because everyone's using it. Now the general line is back. Please don't call the female line if you're not in that category. 99.3, good morning.
Hello?
You're calling the female line.
Hello?
You're calling the female line, sir.
Hello?
The general line is 0201-277-0993. We have a special line for our female listeners. 0201-465-7190. If you're not female, you should not call. Please. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Welcome. Your name, location, and contribution, please.
Okay, my name is Uti Frank, calling from Aja.
All right, welcome.
All right, thank you so much. The issue at hand, we may not really conclude that Natasha is 100% right, because I understand there must be a preceding event that she must have had with the Senate President before this whole issue of sexual harassment. I've been involved in politics, however, during my school days and all of that. So I definitely understand what it really feels like to, be embarrassed, to be kind of intimidated, to be harassed sexually and all of that. I know there are other women out there in politics that have really gone through a lot pertaining this issue, starting from underrepresentation and all of that. But it's high time a voice speak out. It's just trying to show us how it feels like. I definitely got myself not involved in politics again because the male folks' dominance was really getting out of hand, and they always wanted to comply. Let's say there's
Can you give me an example, maybe, of an experience? Oh, well, we don't have time. We have to leave with that, my dear. We have to leave with that. I want to thank you very much for your time. I was going to ask you to give me an example, some of the experiences you faced, but maybe in one sentence.
They really want you to sleep with them.
It'll be a bit, easier for people to get it if you just share one.
I've had an encounter before where I needed help from someone to run. I was the president of an association. So over time, I was supposed to go get some funds to fund a particular program. So each time I keep going there, not alone, he keep posting me. And at the end of the day, he told me we should meet in a hotel. But I could really read afar. And I knew what that meant. I opted to meet in a public place. The whole lot.
All this meet me in a hotel thing. All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate you calling. Okay. 99.3, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Welcome. Your name, location, and contribution, please.
My name is Laura. I'm calling from Lekki.
All right, welcome.
Okay. All right, so on Senator Natasha's case, there's some element of truth, but it's not for anybody to judge. It's for the Committee on Ethics to judge. I don't see why there'll be a case against the sitting president, and he's the one presiding over it. I don't see where that is. So if I have a case against somebody, the person should not be the one presiding over the judgment. That's why there's a committee on ethics. So the committee should be the one to tell us if there is some truth or there is always false.
Okay, but you're sounding like the committee didn't sit, because the last time I checked, they sat. That's the one that has a senator from Delta State or Edo State, if I'm not mistaken. And they said that she did not present a petition properly.
So they did not present it correctly. Is that what she's being punished for? She didn't present it, but she represented. But afterwards, they still suspended her. So this is now more like marginalization. And then we are here during International Women's Day asking for gender equality and all of that. So if we're not saying we want to be what's the word? Equal to men. This affects women in all sectors. So whether in the workplace, whether in school, whether everywhere, it affects women. So you just see how there is male chauvinism everywhere. So is it because she's a woman? If it was a man who brought up this case, is this how it will be flogged under the carpet?
All right.
I just think that because she's a woman, she's being marginalized. And I'm not even looking at the case in isolation to say if it's the sexual harassment thing. Let's look at the facts.
Okay.
A case was jerked against someone. Can we do the right thing? Can we not just look at because we're trying to be loyal to the men?
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Thank you for calling in. We have to pick more calls. Thank you very much. I'm still on the female line. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Welcome. Who do you have, please?
Thank you. My name is Jennifer. I'm calling from Lekki.
All right, Jennifer, please go on.
All right. See, I agree with you that at this point, nobody can judge and say whether Natasha is lying or whether the Senate president is guilty. But from the way I'm seeing it, I want to come from the perspective of those who are asking, why is Natasha just speaking up now? That is it because she had a cheating arrangement problem that if it didn't come up, she has spoken and all that? Maybe those people who are asking those questions are either not women or they are women who have not faced sexual harassment issues. I'm a professional. If you work in an office in Nigeria, and I can't speak about any other place in the world, but in Nigeria, you've experienced sexual harassment or any form of sexual intimidation because of your gender, you would understand that it is very difficult. It's not something you want to, take a microphone or a public address system and begin to shout on the street. It takes a lot to come forward. It takes a whole lot. That's why you see cases of women who were sexually harassed or abused in one way or the other grow up and 20, 30 years later and they are now speaking up. We've had that, in many instances. So it takes a lot to speak up. And I guarantee that, not guarantee, but I have a feeling that Natasha, took it like a bitter pill, swallowed it like one of the bitter pills.
Thank you very much.
And she wants to come forward. Okay.
Thank you, madam. I'm so sorry to cut you there. All right, so let's look at, because, we can look at the whole sitting arrangement thing, which, by the way, was not Akpabio who raised it, but the Senate whip. Of course, he sits in that chair of the Senate president. And we know that Natasha and Akpabio have had spats dating years back. And we can also look at the petition, which is what I want to go into now before I pick the next call, for those who may not have read it. So what Akpoti-Uduaghan is putting in that petition, has put in that petition, which she signed herself, I think last I heard was that she was going to, ask, because the Committee on Ethics and Privileges did say that, the petitions, they say that you can't sign your own petition yourself if you are in the Senate. Someone has to sign it for you, bring a petition on your behalf and all that. Well, so that's a technicality, which can be easily corrected, and I think should be. So we see where this will end. But she's accusing in that petition the Senate president of making inappropriate advances towards her during her visit to his residence in Akwa State on December 8, 2023. He made inappropriate advances towards her. Quote, on or about the 8th of December 2023, I, in the company of my husband, Chief Emmanuel Uduaghan, visited the residence of the respondent in Akwa State. That's what she said. So it's all there. And she goes on to say that despite the fact she was with her husband, the Senate president allegedly made inappropriate remarks and suggested that she should spend quality moment with him. Quality moment with him. Now, she's also going on to say that was 2023. In May 2024, Godswill Akpabio invited her to his private residence in Abuja under the pretext of discussing legislative matters. During the meeting, he allegedly said, I am the Senate president. I'll give you whatever you want. All you have to do is make me happy. He also says that he allegedly said, quote, Senator Natasha, you can enjoy a whole lot if you take care of me and make me happy. That's what she's saying, he said, quote, allegedly. And she is also saying that because she refused to do what he was asking her to do, her motion for the Ajaokuta steel mill to be repeatedly removed from the Senate's order paper. That's her motion was repeatedly removed from the Senate's order paper. That's a way of victimizing her because she refused to do those things that he said she should do the two times or the two occasions she cited. The petition is also talking about that moment in the Senate chamber where Akpabio allegedly said we're not in the nightclub. The one that he apologized for. So these are some of the points that she's brought before the committee in the Senate, alleged sexual harassment. She also says Akpabio used his position because she refused to make him happy. Aki said, allegedly. She's saying he used his position to remove her from the position of chairman of the local content committee in the Senate. That's some of the allegations. It goes on and on and on. The copies are online. You can go check it out yourself. So what do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Akpabio's response as well is basically summaries. I didn't do it. My mother is a woman. And I respect women. I've won awards as best, most friendly, women-friendly governor and all that. All right, let's take some more calls before we run out of time. 99.3, good morning.
Good morning, Kofi. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Your name, location, and contribution.
Abby from Sulair.
All right, welcome.
Okay, so I think that my biggest issue is why would they suspend her and he's just free? They should have, as she said at the UN, done a fair investigation. So I'm so happy she went there because she's not just fighting for herself. I don't know if she's guilty or not, but I want to. She sounds like a smart woman. I want to believe she won't go that far if she didn't have, proof or something. So I'm very happy she went there, and I hope it leads to something. I mean, we're tired of them, doing what they do and sweeping things under the carpet and all that. So I'm very proud of her.
All right.
And I hope something good comes out of it.
What do you say to the fact that the Senate suspended her because the Senate Ethics Committee found her guilty of, quote, a total violation of the Senate standing rules?
That's the kind of drama they do. They're missing they left the major for the minor. Somebody said, look at the SDG goals. Gender, we know in this country I'm female. It's a problem. We're second-class citizens. Let's be honest and factual.
Yeah.
So they did not face the issue, which is typical. So I'm not surprised. I mean, look at what's going on. How can you tell somebody to apologize when she was abused? Like, who does that?
All right.
So that's what they do.
Is there a point where we should separate this matter from general gender issues, which are well documented, and of course, like you said, Nigerian women suffer a lot every day, every single day. Is there a point where we should say, hey, here we have a fight for gender equality. We have a fight against abuse of women in Nigeria, but we don't need to mix up this matter because we do not know if we want to make it a general gender fight and it turns out that the person accused is guilty, we might be conducting a trial outside of a court against. Is there something like that you think, okay, maybe we should not?
I don't think we should. I think it should be done together, meaning it's happening because she's female, and it's happening because people just think they can get, not all men, but a lot of men think they can get away with anything. So she needs to come from the political angle as well as the female angle. Right. I think she's covering both perfectly.
Thank you very much. All right. I mean, for me, the fact that the lady remembered the exact words and then wrote those words down in the petition is quite interesting. For me, I'm a process person. I'm the fact law. What the book say? But because I've learned that way. But this is a difficult one. That if it's handled with kids' gloves, it might blow out of it might become bigger than what people are taking it right now. It should not be handled lightly, and I think it's imperative that the Senate sit down and look at this again. Sometimes, some things are not expedient. The laws say this, the books say that, but you look at what women are going through in the country and the message that it will pass, and sometimes you bend a bit in order to avert, a future occurrence. You look at diplomatic ways of going about things because if a Natasha has her evidence, you want to assuage her, you want to bring her closer and say, we're sorry you went through this, how can we solve it? If she has evidence, it's not going to end well. It's not going to end well. So maybe the Senate, from listening to all of you, can say, okay, we have our rules, but can we look at a way of listening to this lady and making sure that she feels that we're listening to her? I don't know, because she has her evidence. You know. So I hope they can come to an amicable, conclusion and all that. Let's pay our bills.
My son, help me check this phone. I don't know what Junior press. You know they work again.
Make I see. Mommy.
What happen?
They don't block your line now.
Nobody like to chop blocking, So, if they don't block you, on to say
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.